Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the review for the LG G5, and I've been using this LG G5 with my primary SIM for the last 10 days before producing this review, and I'll divide this review between the pros and the cons, the things that I liked with the LG G5 and the things that I did not like. And before we proceed, let me give you a quick specs overview. And I won't go in depth regarding the physical overview and other aspects. I've covered all those aspects in my unboxing video, so you can check out that for more info. So let's divide this review between the pros and the cons, and let's first talk about what is unique about this LG G5. This LG G5 is the so-called modular phone. This back portion can be detached and you can add other modules, but the sad fact is that you have to purchase those other modules. So I don't have those modules, so I haven't tested it with that. When I get those modules, I'll produce a different video. So this review will be based on the actual experience of just this unit. So let's start with the things that I liked about this device, the pros. And the first thing that I liked about this device is the cellular call quality. The cellular call quality was excellent, and the network reception was also excellent. I used this device in Hyderabad with Airtel 4G and I had excellent experience. Also, the glass on the top is slightly curved, so when you hold it towards your ear, it's a very comfortable experience, I have to say. I had no problems regarding the cellular reception. And also it has a physical LED notification light. Some of you have asked me about it, and it works. So if you get a missed calls and stuff, it is there. Also, next thing that I really liked about this device is it supports that 5.3-inch screen, which is an IPS Quad HD screen. And I have to say, the screen quality for an IPS grade screen is excellent. I have to say, one of the best IPS grade screens that I have used. So very good. Also, if you take this phone in outdoor lighting, like in direct sunlight, and you have it on auto brightness, it's easily visible even in direct sunlight. I also like that it still has that knock-on feature. So if you just double tap, it goes to sleep, and you can also wake it up. I have the fingerprint scanner, hence it's not there, but this knock-on feature works brilliantly on this device. Also, it does have the IR blaster, and the IR blaster functionality works very well, even with third-party apps like Peel, etc. I also did not notice any heating with this device, though it's having the powerful Snapdragon 820 chipset. In my day-to-day usage, I did not notice any heating. In fact, even with extended gaming, it did not heat up. I'll talk about the gaming later on. And now coming to one critical thing, I was actually really worried was regarding the battery life, because it has just a 2800 milliamp hour battery, and it's powering that the Quad HD display. That's a 5.3-inch screen. But I have to say, the battery life was sort of above average. For example, the LG G4 that I tested last year had a very disappointing battery life. In terms of screen on time, I used to get just about 3 hours to about 3 hours 20 minutes of screen on time with the LG G4, but that's not the case with this G5. With the G5, as you can see from the charts, I could get a screen on time anywhere between 4 hours 20 minutes to as high as 5 hours 20 minutes. That 5 hours 20 minutes was with mostly on Wi-Fi, but even with mixed usage, I was getting a screen on time of about 4 hours 45 minutes. And I have to say, it was able to last for a typical working day without an issue. But again, it's not going to last for 2 days. You have to charge it every day. Another good thing is that it does support Qualcomm Quick Charging 3, and the charger that LG has supplied is a quick charger, so it charges pretty quickly. So battery life is not an issue. I was really worried about the battery life. That is not an issue. Also, as the battery, you can just pull it out, and the battery is user replaceable. So if you are into that, that is there on this device. Now, moving to another thing that I really liked is the camera. It has the 16 megapixel camera. The main camera is a 16 megapixel and it also has that 8 megapixel wide angle lens. And as you can see from the sample shots, the camera performance was actually really good. Just like the LG G4, the camera performance was good. Even in artificial lighting, it did a remarkable job in my opinion. Now moving to this wide screen, yes, you get that 135 degrees wide vision. and it adds a dramatic effect in natural lighting, I would say. But if you use this widescreen in indoor lighting or in where lighting is not that great, then the pictures come out to be grainy. In artificial lighting and low lighting situation, I would say just stick to the regular 16 megapixel camera. So it was fun. The wide vision, as you can see from the samples, you get a very different perspective from this wide vision. But again, in artificial lighting, it is a little bit noisy to my liking. Moving to the front facing camera, the front facing camera performance was also very good. And also in terms of video, as you can see from the sample, the video quality from the front facing camera was also very good. In terms of video, you can record up to 4K from the rear facing camera. And here is a sample that I shot in very low lighting conditions. And as you can see, the video came out to be really good. It was almost dark. So the camera performance is actually really good on this device, among the best that I've seen. I would say the Samsung Galaxy S7 might be slightly better in very low lighting conditions. I'll in fact try to post a dedicated comparison video between the S7 Edge and the G5's camera later on if you guys are interested in that. Now moving to gaming, the gaming performance was also actually really good on this LG G5, and as you can see, I ran heavy games like Asphalt and even Nova 3, and they ran without any issues. The good thing is that even with extended gaming, the handset did not heat up that much. And yes, there is a game mode. I would suggest that you just disable that, and I did all my testing by disabling that game mode. Now moving to general performance, the general performance of this device was also very good. And again, it's a very powerful device. It's running on the Snapdragon 820 chipset and it has 4 gigabytes of RAM. So in my day-to-day usage, I did not have any issues with this device. The only thing that I did not like is that the default keyboard that it has, I actually didn't like it. And I replaced it with the Google keyboard. That's the only thing that I have done. But apart from that, everything worked very well. And also with the new update, now if you want the traditional Android, app tray, that option is there in the launcher if you want. Now moving to next thing that is I really liked is in terms of an ergonomics and in-hand feel, the LG G5 gets it right. It's a comfortable phone to hold in the hand, and also due to this curved edge on the top, it's really comfortable when you take calls, and it does not slip out of your hand like the S7 or the S7 Edge, which have that glass back. So even without a case, if you use this phone, it's sort of okay in my opinion. Now, one thing that differentiates this LG G5 with other phones is this modular approach. You can just press this button and pull out and add other modules like Cam Plus or even hi-fi audio modules and stuff like that. But again, sadly, those modules are sold separately, so I could not test it as of now. Also, as I've mentioned, I also like the fact that it does support Qualcomm Quick Charging 3. So these were some of the things that I really liked on this LG G5. Now let's move to the things that I did not like about this device. And the first thing is that the camera, as I told you, is very good. But in video mode, we don't have manual controls, which was sort of surprising because the LG V10 had that. The next thing that I actually did not like that much was this fingerprint scanner. The fingerprint scanner for the most part works, but I have to say every day, once, twice or thrice, it simply fails to work and you have to insert the pin. It's not as bad as the Galaxy S7. For example, I use the Galaxy S7 Edge. Its front fingerprint scanner is even worse than this one. But yes, it's not among the best. For example, the Nexus 6 speeds of fingerprint scanner or the iPhone 6s fingerprint scanner is actually more reliable than this LG G5. It'll work, I would say, 90% of the time. But yeah, every day, couple of times, I have to enter my PIN. Now moving to another thing that I did not like is the auto brightness sensor. I just don't like the auto brightness sensor because many times it just over brightens the screen or makes it really dull. So most of the time I was tinkering it manually. So I just don't like that. As you can see, I've removed the auto brightness option. Also, in terms of looks, if you look at this device from the back, it seriously looks ugly because of this camera. So if you're a very style conscious person, so you have to be aware of that. It's not one of those devices that has great looks in my opinion. Now, one thing that I'm really annoyed with LG, and this is sort of unacceptable at this price level, is the finish of the quality. When you just slide your finger on the camera, you get that feeling that it's not seamless, and it actually scrapes your hand. And that's also there at this bottom. If you just move your hand like this, it just scrapes your hand. So the finish is simply not that great, and it's sort of unacceptable for a device that is costing over 50,000. Even when I just move my hand over here, this charging port and the speaker ports, they are sort of rough. So it's really highly disappointing, and I just don't get it. How did LG this go through quality control, in my opinion? So it's simply unacceptable for a device that is costing 50,000. Now moving to the wide angle lens, as I told you, it's a nice option, but again, I feel in low lighting and artificial lighting, it simply produces pictures with a lot of noise, so sort of unusable. And lastly, this speaker that is there on this bottom, I feel when it's not that loud, as loud as the LG G4. The LG G4 speaker was a lot louder compared to this one. And also this position is really bad in my opinion. And especially when you do gaming and stuff, I would say 70% of the time you will be blocking the speaker. And lastly, the thing that I do not like is the pricing in India. In India, LG has priced this LG G5 at 53,000. And I feel for that price of around 53,000, you have to think twice if you want this device. Don't get me wrong, in terms of performance, the performance of this device is very good. But again, I feel the 53,000 and again this finish at 53,000 or whatever, it's simply a little, I would say, if you really like this device, before just buying it, go to a store, handle the device in your hand and see if you are okay with the same. So overall, I would say in terms of performance, it was really good. But again, I feel the pricing and the quality control at this, it's the rough back that you get that feeling, which I feel is simply not acceptable for a phone that is priced at around 50,000. So these were my pros and cons with the LG G5. I hope you found this video review helpful. Again, I've already posted the unboxing video of this LG G5. So if you want to know more about the phone, the general overview, you can check out that video. Again, guys, thanks for watching this video. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.